Like this.
Cool. So I was thinking right when I was listening to you talk, I'll start thinking to myself a question. And here's the question that I ask. And I ask everybody who watches this, one person, 10 people, 20 people, 200 people, a million people, how many ever people. I want you to go in the mirror one day. And as I don't know if y'all following y'all best practice sheets that Pete sent out. I don't know if y'all doing none of this stuff. I don't know. But if you are, keep up the good work. But here's
And
what I
if you
want
ain't
you to
got your
do.
best practice sheet, hit me up so we can send them out.
There you
Would love
go.
to.
So my question that I want people to ask themselves that I even
Don't
have
lose
to
your
ask
thought. Let me
myself.
say this real quick.
Go ahead.
Our email is we got an email. I'm gonna put it in the description so you can actually our no cap email. All right, go ahead.
All right. Just send it to me too. Shit, I don't know.
No, that's what I said. It's gonna be an email that we
Yeah,
both
yeah, yeah.
also.
All right. So the question that you want to ask that I got to ask myself, that everybody got to ask themselves, but I'm gonna put it out there. What kind of person are you? What person are you? Who are you? Right? Let's ask that. What kind of person are you? What's your values? What's your substance? Are you a person of substance? Do you have something that you're willing to die for? Do you have something you're willing to take a stand for? Are you going to, or what's going to be your legacy when you're not here? Are you going to be the person who tried, who just tried? And remember, trying means you just gave yourself an excuse to fail. Are you going to be a person who's done, who's doing, a person who lived, who can say, "Hey, it didn't work, but I attempted it. I went for it. And I may have fell short, but I attempted it." Do you hold yourself on a high ground? Do you have some standards? Do you have uh like I say, substance? What's poured into you? What are you made of? And that don't mean in no intimidating thing or to belittle somebody or to encourage you. You take it however you want. Just the question is centered to you. What kind of person are you? And if you're not happy with the person that you are, then what can you do to fix it? What can you do? Can you identify the problem? All right, that's what we always say. Can you identify the problems? And you don't have to attack every problem at all at once. Can you identify the problem? It can be, you can go snowball effect, pick the smallest one and knock that one out.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can say, I want to go for this biggest one first. However you want to do it, you can go for the middle one. But once you identify it, are you going to start fixing it? If you are completely happy with yourself, can you share? Did you leave some breadcrumbs behind so somebody who's not in a good position that you are can pick up and follow your lead? Are we paying it forward? You know what I'm saying? Are you a person who gives out a lot of verbal abuse? You know, you raggedy mother. I can't. Are you a negative Nancy?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Are you a vampire? Are you taking people's energy? Are you that person? Or are you the light? Are you the truth? Are you the person that comes and pours into a person, gives love and gives hope and gives joy? Or are you just that person who just, I'm okay where I'm at. I'm okay being stagnant. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to be chiefs, not enough Indians, but there's some villagers in there. There's some people in there doing farm work and things just chilling that, it's more than what people say. But what
Mm-hmm.
person are you? What person did you wake up to be this morning? Because at the end of the day, you may have a doppelganger out there, somebody looks just like you, but it's only one you. You may have somebody out there that want to be you, that imitate you, that may not like you, that despise you, but it's only you. You can only be you. And which person are you going to be? Are you going to let somebody, we all done it. We all do it now. We all become influenced by somebody. Something has an influence on us, where it's uh, politics, street politics, whatever the case is. I'm just trying to give you a wide range. We
Mm-hmm.
all get influenced by somebody, or we have been influenced by somebody, because the person you are was nurtured by somebody who may not have been you, but it was something that you seen in somebody that you grabbed a hold of and you started basing that was your baseline that you start
Mm-hmm.
basing it off of. So which
Mm-hmm.
person, who are you, when you look in the mirror? Can you answer that question honestly with yourself and make the necessary adjustments if you're not happy with the person you are? And if you are happy with the person that you are, did you leave some breadcrumbs so you can help somebody else follow in your path?
It's a couple things that you triggered that I'm going to speak on, and some of it's many, but it's all good.
Go for it.
So first, you ask that question again. Can you look in the mirror basically, and are you happy with what you see? I had a question that came to mind. Can you visualize yourself as an infant? Can you visualize yourself as a toddler? Can you visualize yourself as an infant? Can you, like, being in somebody's arms, right? Before you could recollect the first time you were in someone's arms as an infant, your opportunities in life, your vision, you being created, what your eyes were like, where your mind had the opportunity to go. You're in somebody's arms, but you have no awareness of or recollection of that because of the innocence in the early stages of life. But the people who you're in their arms and you go from arm to arm begin to pass along things to you, just like they pass a baby from arm to arm. They pass along things to the baby, and you start to gravitate and learn. But can you visualize yourself as that infant and really see yourself? So when you're looking in the mirror, you see yourself with your beard, your goatee, or your, full grown version of yourself. But can you visualize yourself and see yourself as that infant? And then think who that individual really was at that time, should be, and has the opportunity to become. Especially if you, the person visualizing yourself as an infant, were doing the work to make sure that that young being, that version of yourself, grew to exactly what you would have that version of yourself grow to, standing where you are today, looking at that infant. Can you visualize yourself as an infant? So I do that often. I think about me being born. I was born for something greater than I even understand. It's my job to work through all of the distractions, all of the cloudiness, all of the mistakes, all of the fogginess, all of the world that's in front of me and in my rear view, to work through all that and actually see and get to what I'm really supposed to be doing, because I know that that's what's in me and that's what I was born to do. I can feel it. I can sense it. I know it lives in there, and I want to let it out. Don't want it to be trapped. I want it to grow into its full state. So for me, I look back at that infant and say, let's grow to where you're supposed to go to. You were talking about verbal abuse. You mentioned it. Verbal abuse is a real thing and comes in many different forms. It's not just a man yelling at a woman. It could be a parent and how they, because like you said, I like what you said. A label doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a parent or a significant other. That doesn't matter. You said, are you an individual who has the habit of speaking to people like, you motherfucker this, you motherfucker? Are you an individual who has the habit of speaking to people a certain way? Well, if so, then there's work to be done if a person cares to do so, because that is verbal abuse. Now, not only is it verbal abuse when somebody says, you motherfucker, you da 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 da, it's also verbal abuse if a person is more negative than positive in their responses to an individual. For instance, a person could be in a healthy environment where there's no harm being done physically, mentally, or verbally, but because of their own bad habits, they typically respond with a negative response to a significant other, to their children, to a coworker, just out of habit. Just out of habit, instead of having a positive response, they respond negative because that's just a bad habit that they haven't worked up. That is actually a form of verbal abuse. Constantly responding with negativity just because that's a bad habit that they put into practice. But they themselves actually end up doing something they take a different course of action, but their response is always negative, right? So it shows that it's really just a bad habit because they'll end up taking a different course of action at some point, but they gotta nag about it the whole way. Or they gotta say something negative and then be confronted about that negative thing and be like, oh, I didn't even, you know what I'm saying? So that's also a form of verbal abuse. Okay. Now, this third one that I wrote down, I'm about to jump all the way across to somewhere else. Go for it. Brands. I've been thinking about this a lot. And I mentioned to Amanda, and that's probably like the only person I mentioned this to, but I'm about to share right here. Man, everybody got to quit trying to have brands. I know that sounds crazy from a person that everybody got to quit trying to have brands. At least until due time. Everybody want to have a brand nowadays. Instead of getting behind a brand that has the greatest potential to change many lives. Everybody wants to prove that their brand, that their thing that they're creating is the next best thing. And they'll come to a brand that exists wanting to push their brand to, or wanting to connect their brand to, but not really even understanding what a real brand looks like. Not even really being in practice of what a real brand looks like, but everybody got to have a brand. What I would say is this: everybody don't have to have a brand. You were talking about chiefs and Indians. You say it very often. Some individuals need to come on and be part of a team of a brand that could change everybody's life. And then maybe through working with that brand wholeheartedly, making it grow, then they can start something under the umbrella, under the guidance of said brand. But I want individuals to really take heed to what I'm saying, because you could be doing more harm than good and causing a brand. We could have the next Nike. We could have the next Jordan. We can have the next whatever Toyota. We could have it, but those brands, Ford, Microsoft, iPhone, you know how those brands were built? Everybody didn't have fucking brands. Everybody joined that brand. And everybody put their work ethic into building the McDonald's. Everybody put their work ethic into building whatever brand you can name that everybody uses, right? And they brought their talents, their gifts, their everything, and they believed, and it grew. Well, nowadays, we are able to build brands so easily, so freely. And again, I know this is kind of going somewhere, but you were speaking and this is what came to my head. That everybody wants to build brands. Well, guess what? I'm going to be the first person to tell you. Fuck building all these brands. Build the brand. Get behind the brand that could become the next brand that is a brand that stands for us, that is not something that we have to support, because those brands were built the right way before everybody was building brands. There was building a new brand and there were people who supported it. Where's the support of the brands that have the opportunity to become, like I said, the next Nike or the next whatever brand you want to name? Right. You can put whatever name here. Where's the support of those brands? The support is not as readily there. Rather than support, people say, oh, I got a brand too. No, you don't. What you should do is become part of the brand that has the opportunity to grow and then expand from there. But that's just, everybody can't be, like you said, you got to have some Chiefs and Indians, and not even that. Everybody has to be a chief in a certain role and build. And that's how you get there.